Don't be alarmed. It's only a laser sword fight. Don't be scared. It's only the Death Star destroying another world. Relax. It's only a movie, and it's all for fun. Director George Lucas and 20th Century Fox present Star Wars. Rated PG. Parental guidance suggested. Don't be alarmed. It's only the death breath of the Dark Lord. Don't be scared. It's only an Imperial cruiser making the jump to light speed. Relax. It's only a movie, and it's all for fun. Director George Lucas and 20th Century Fox present Star Wars. Rated PG. Parental guidance suggested. There is nothing new under the sun, but under the small green fourth moon of Yavin, there is quite a different story. Director George Lucas and 20th Century Fox present Star Wars. Luke Skywalker is on a daring mission to rescue a beautiful princess, and all he needs is a little help from his friends. Han Solo, space pirate, and Chewie, his giant Wookiee, C-3PO, human relations cyborg, and his counterpart R2-D2, and the mysterious Jedi Knight. Never before in the history of movies has so much time and technology been spent just for fun. Star Wars. Rated PG. Parental guidance suggested.
Get Star Wars posters at Burger Chef.
R2-D2, hurry up.
That's right. 4 posters featuring the stars of Star Wars are at Burger Chef.
We'd like a Star Wars poster, please. R2, it's our lucky day. It's us.
Just buy a large serving of Coca-Cola for 49 cents at participating Burger Chefs, and a Star Wars poster is yours to control. There are 4 spectacular full-color Star Wars posters in all, so start your collection today.
R2, I think we'd better leave.
Star Wars posters, only at Burger Chef, while supplies last.
You remember last time, R2-D2 was sent by the lovely Princess Leia with an urgent message for Ben Kenobi.
Help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi.
With a tiny rebel starship under heavy attack, R2 and C-3PO flee to the planet below. Will they make it? Will they find Ben Kenobi before Darth Vader finds them? Find out in the next thrill-packed commercial for Star Wars. Rated PG. Parental guidance suggested. Meanwhile, back on the rebel starship, the lovely Princess Leia is brought before the evil Darth Vader. Will he force her to tell the location of the rebel base? And what's to become of R2-D2 and C-3PO as they hurtle toward the desert planet of Tatooine? Find out in the next thrilling commercial for Star Wars. Rated PG. Parental guidance suggested. Somewhere on the barren desert planet of Tatooine, our little hero R2-D2 and C-3PO are searching for Ben Kenobi. Suddenly, they're attacked and captured by the sinister, yellow-eyed Jawas. Will they be sold for scrap? Will they escape to find Ben Kenobi? Find out in the next heart-stopping commercial for Star Wars. Rated PG. Parental guidance suggested. In our last thrilling commercial, old Ben Kenobi had just rescued young Luke Skywalker from the savage Tusken Raiders. It is now some time later as they discover the burned-out remains of a Jawa sandcrawler. Fearing the worst, Luke races for home in a desperate attempt to save his aunt and uncle. What will he find? Stay tuned for the next commercial for Star Wars. Rated PG. Parental guidance suggested. When last we left Luke, Ben, R2, and C-3PO, they had gone to the Mos Eisley spaceport searching for a pilot who can take them to Alderaan. But once inside a murky bar crowded with bizarre aliens, Luke is attacked by a vicious killer. Can Ben Kenobi save the boy before it's too late? Will they find their pilot in time? Don't miss the next spine-tingling commercial for Star Wars. Rated PG. Parental guidance suggested.
He was young, but he was ready. Ready to leave his home and everything he'd known to join the fight against the Empire. Armed with his father's lightsaber, he fought for his life, his friends, and the lovely Princess Leia. Luke Skywalker was ready. Luke Skywalker is back. Star Wars is back. Star Wars. Rated PG. Parental guidance suggested. All his life, he only cared about one thing. Himself. But now, the best hotshot pilot in the galaxy was playing babysitter to an old man, a green kid, 2 robots, and a princess. Han Solo really had his hands full. Han Solo is back. Star Wars is back. Star Wars. Rated PG. Parental guidance suggested. She was as tough as she was beautiful.
Here they come!
A gentle princess who could handle a blaster with the best of them. But all she had to do to save the Rebel Alliance was escape from the Death Star. Princess Leia was running out of time. Princess Leia is back. Star Wars is back. Star Wars. Rated PG. Parental guidance suggested.
Star Wars films are basically silent movies, and they're designed as silent movies. Therefore, the music has a very large role in carrying the story, more than it would in a normal movie. Most movies, the story is carried by the dialogue. Star Wars films, the music carries the story. So that the music is extremely important, just as it would be in a silent movie. So that connective tissue of how you get there's a lot of very quick transitions in Star Wars. You're moving from scene to scene and scene. It moves very fast. And without that music there to smooth it out and take you from point A to point B in a sort of elegant way, it becomes very jerky and confused, and the story doesn't work very well. The film doesn't work very well.
It does feel, for me, writing the music to Star Wars, that it's one entity, that it's one body, and that I'm adding parts to it every time, and that there is a continuity there in musical terms that is, as far as I know, in film, unique. And it's an opportunity that George has given, probably unwittingly, I mean, initially, on his part, and certainly and unknowingly on my part. But in retrospect, we can look back and see now that we have this collection of themes and melodies and marches and battle hymns and all this of all kinds, weddings, funerals, everything you can think of that belong to this canon now of musical work, which I have to say I get a big kick out of looking at it now, and especially due to the fact that in the beginning, at least in my mind, it wasn't planned out that way. Well, there's so many parts of working on Star Wars that are fun. I think always for a composer, the moment you stand in front of the orchestra and begin to conduct the music and hear it for the first time is the moment of greatest exhilaration for me as a musician. That will rival even the opening night of the film when all the people come in dressed and see a lovely film all finished by George. But for me personally, that first downbeat and hearing the orchestra begin, that's a big high and a great moment always for me personally.
We celebrate a day of peace, a day of harmony, a day of joy we all can share together joyously, a day that takes us through the darkness
cool, and I'll break it up on YouTube as well, so you can see the parts individually. This is R2-D2, the Return of the Jedi 77 back. So the 77 back, as I've said endless times, is the most common vintage card you can find. Up there, maybe the second most common would be Tri-Logo. So this is R2-D2 with the Sensorcope. So this is the second vintage version of R2-D2, and it's from 1983, and the figure's in really nice condition, as is the bubble, really clear, and the card is really immaculate. So it says there on the AFA grading, 1983 Kenner Star Wars, R2-D2, Return of the Jedi 77 back A, Sensorcope, card 85, bubble 85, figure 85. So it's a really nice graded figure. It's 85 all round, near mint plus. And the figure looks really nice, and it comes with a Sensorcope, and you know, this card has been reissued in around 2004 on the Votc line. I've got that card here to show you. I'll show them together at the moment. This was bought at KB back in the 80s, and you can imagine how it's shocking how cheap it was. It was 79 cents. So I wish I had paid that for this. Okay, still, I looked on Brian's Toys and all that sort of stuff, and he's got the equivalent of this, and his is about twice as much as what I paid for this. So, you know, got this at a good price. So sometimes you get good stuff in the UK, a lot cheaper than in America. So, okay, this is R2-D2. Nice that it's got a clear bubble still, because a lot of US cards, the bubble tends to go yellow. You can really see the figure, how nice it looks. And then I'll show you the back. The back is the common 77 back. This is meant to be a 77 back A. So you've got all the figures there, 77 of them. You can see Bib Fortuna there's got a red cape, and the Lando skiff, his boots are unpainted. So those are probably just prototypes or mock-ups. As everyone knows about the red caped Bib Fortuna as being quite often faked these days. And then you've got all the listings of the figures there, plus all the other stuff you could get, like the Max Rebo band, the Ewok glider, the Ewok catapult, and the Rancor monster. And this one was made in Hong Kong. There's the proof of purchase in green. And then we'll have one more look at this, because it is a very nice specimen. It's as I've said so many times, R2-D2 with Sensorcope, and there you can see just there, that little blue bit there, that's the actual pull-up Sensorcope. I'll show you the figure as well loose, which is from my own childhood days. So R2-D2 Sensorcope Return of the Jedi card. I've already got on YouTube a Tri-Logo version of this, not graded, but a really nice specimen as well. So there you go, R2-D2 Sensorcope. Okay. I've got this on Palatoy as well, Return of the Jedi. Looks really nice, but that's not graded. But I bought that 20 odd years ago almost, so, you know. There. So you can get the figure better. I've taken photos so you'll be able to see the details better. So you know that the body was just a sticker, but it looks classic. It's a classic figure. 77 back A. All round 85. So great grade. High grade. Bought at KB for 79 cents. Okay, back to R2-D2 Sensorcope. We've got the original 1983 figure, and next to it we've got the OTC 2004 in this OTC packaging, and this figure's still quite hard to find, and this card is a reproduction of that card. So you can see the similarities and differences. So it says there with extension arm, now with extension arm. On that it says now with Sensorcope. And you can notice the Return of the Jedi writing's a bit thicker on the newer card, but I mean they're really good. It's a really good reproduction, and the new figure's incomparable to the old figure. This figure's such an improvement. I mean, the detailing, the sculpting, this figure is a classic, really good, excellent figure. And but you can see the similarities between the two cards. It's just the 21 years difference between the two. That's the vintage and that's the modern. And then if we look at the back of the card, we've got the actual cards, vintage card there, and the other cards that were in the range. So there you go, R2-D2 on a 1983-84 card, and there's the real thing. So thought you might like to see both the original and the reproduction. So if you can't get one of those, get that. It's a wicked figure. Okay, here I've got my original from childhood, 1982 I guess, R2-D2 with the Sensorcope, 81-82, and it's just the basic vintage figure, same as the original R2 with the solid dome. All they did was add that Sensorcope there. Okay, you can see the sticker's really yellowed over time, but this is a good figure. I remember playing with it quite a lot, so you know. And has no third leg, has a screw there, you can see the screw, and the head still clicks, and here the clicking there, a bit stiff. Okay, and then the Sensorcope, you just pull it up like that, and there's the Sensorcope. You can really see the Sensorcope there. So that was a new feature, and that's why we went out and bought a new R2-D2 back in 81, 82, because it had a Sensorcope. Also, there's another version of R2-D2, a vintage one. Everyone knows that that's the pop-up lightsaber, and I've got one of those on YouTube. It's the Droids version though, and it's on a Brazilian card. So there you go, R2-D2 from my own collection. This is from my own childhood. And if you can, let's twist the head back round, let's put the Sensorcope down. There's the back of the sticker, and then head's a bit stiff actually. There you are. Time to say be dupe R2-D2, blue eye and a little red there. This is a classic figure. You can get this in 12-inch version now from Sideshow. It looks amazing. And there you go. But this is the one from my childhood. So you know, this one is quite sentimental to me. And there's the C-3PO next to him. That's my own from childhood as well. That's the one with the limbs come apart. I haven't got the little black bag that it came with, but they look good together. C-3PO with limbs and R2-D2. So you can imagine C-3PO nagging R2-D2 about this and that, and R2-D2 just ignoring him. Okay, so here we are. R2-D2, C-3PO, my own toys from my childhood. Then a recent purchase, well, both are quite recent, the OTC R2-D2 and the original 77 back Return of Jedi 77 back. Looks amazing. So time to say goodbye to these. Hope you enjoyed this review, because these two, I mean, when are you going to ever see these together? So you've got a great collection there. You've got R2-D2 carded, loose, and redone. So I hope you enjoyed that. More to show you. One more vintage figure to carded to show you, and then some more modern figures. Okay, so keep watching.